And we're live. Right. Let's get into this season 2 or episode 2.
How many times must I tell you?
Oh shit.
You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mordor, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother. Johann Christoph von Wull, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You'll find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
I do apologize for being late. I was obliged to clear up some urgent business.
Oh shit. Episode 2, hide and seek.
Do you mind?
Let's go.
Call you Louis.
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. Unfortunately, I am now confronted with another problem, which I would rather have done without. You see, last night, Miss Adams also went missing. I had my people searching for her all over the island. Alas, to no avail. It so happens that both her mental and her physical health are extremely fragile. I'm worried that the same thing happened to her as to your mother. Also, I would appreciate it very much if you could tell me what you were doing on the floor in her room in the early hours.
It's quite normal. I can explain everything.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. You see, Sir Gregory is about to arrive, and he's taken Elizabeth's disappearance very, very seriously. Please, reassure him so that we can talk about your mother.
William, I would like to see you a moment before we begin. In private.
Let's step outside a moment. Louis, this will only take a few moments.
All right, let's take this chance to look around.
Quick.
Please, sit back down, Louis.
This sort of behavior is not working in your favor, young man.
Gregory, Louis told me we needn't be concerned.
Of course.
Monsieur de Richet, the situation seems to escape your grasp, so I won't beat about the bush. Did you kill Elizabeth Adams?
What?
What are you talking about? I only helped her. We talked and she wanted to leave. I imagine that's what she did, right?
We have found no trace of her leaving, monsieur. So allow me to have my doubts.
Nor have we found any reason to believe that Louis is lying. We must remain calm, Gregory. We have found no evidence that would suggest that Elizabeth has been murdered. For the time being, she has only disappeared. Let's stick to the facts, if you please.
Well, where is she then?
I'm not absolutely sure, but I'd wager she's gone to visit her sister.
I beg your pardon?
Good Lord! You mean Abigail?
Yes, they've been keeping in touch by mail. Elizabeth always dreamt of meeting her. I wouldn't be surprised if she went to see her.
Damnation, William! This is a fiasco. Sir, you don't seem to realize just how serious this is.
Let's try and remain calm, Gregory. In any case, it would be far better if Elizabeth really has left the island, as Louis says. Why do you think she wanted to leave?
She was terrorized by my mother's presence here. Just the thought of coming face to face with her was unbearable.
Did she tell you why?
Yes, she brought the subject up.
I'm sorry, Louis. It couldn't have been easy to hear.
For your sake, I sincerely hope that she got there safely. Monsieur de Richet, I apologize if my words seemed a little abrupt. I dare not think what would happen if Elizabeth came across your mother on the island. Your generosity may well cost you dearly.
I understand, my lord. I certainly regret it.
You don't need us for any of this. So come along, Monsieur Peru. We are leaving.
Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
She isn't missing, you know.
What? What do you mean?
My mother has left traces in every nook and cranny of your island, my lord. She's definitely here. Now, what worries me most is why she doesn't show herself.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the canon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Isn't Bonaparte a bit young to deserve so much attention?
Well, you come straight to the point. I like that. Indeed, if you knew just how much you remind me of him. Trust me, I'll wager that Monsieur Napoleon will soon prove himself. I'm working on it, at least. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play. And I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
If only my mother had trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I am sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Her not coming back to the manor after so long makes me wonder if she is wary of someone.
Well, certainly. But whom? The only ones who were present during her stay were Sir Gregory, Duchess Hillsborough, Mr. von Woolner, and myself.
You forget Elizabeth Adams, my lord.
That's true. But Gregory and I arranged it so that they wouldn't run into each other. I thought that it would. Do you think that your mother felt she was in danger because of Elizabeth?
It's possible.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Ah, yes. His famous cotton gin. It was supposed to revolutionize cotton production in the United States.
It will revolutionize the world, really. The potential of this invention is much greater. Tomorrow, all industries will be switching to simple but large-scale production. Of that, I'm sure.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself
trust him.
during the siege of Saint-Jean-d'Acre.
Unfortunately, my lord, the Crusades are not my chosen field.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have plenty of time to learn. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
Emily has a twin sister who knew my mother? But she playing it, goddammit. That means my vision of the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me. But between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you. The room was just opposite Mortimer's study.
This is Matt.
Det er modern date. Men go to the tower room.
Golden elixir. Consumed without excess. A few leaves out of an old encyclopedia.
Take all his shit. Anything over here? Nah.
Sir Jacques Perru. Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
What's up? Collector coins. Right towards the tower room.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
I don't know where the tower room is, but oh.
Monseigneur His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. President George Washington. Monsieur Johann van Woolner. Sir Jacques Perru.
Mitt. Right. Jesus.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Alright. Okay. Can I go down here? Nope. Right, I'm so confused. Where did I go? I have no clue where I'm going.
That's me. Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. President George Washington.
Right. This is I'm just confused now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where to go. I'm lost. Dang, what the fuck? How am I supposed to know where to go?
It's near Von Vollner's room.
Ah, mate. Yeah, let me just go and find out where, mate. Right. Okay.
Monsieur Johann van Vollner.
So it's near here. Right. Here. Man, why was that so hard?
There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Dante's Paradigm.
Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays. What is this disc? Oh, that reminds me of the ones my mother collects. It's magnetic. St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior. A fierce opponent of the first Christians, St. Paul is suddenly struck by the call of Jesus Christ and converts. It's the best known conversion in Christian history, which teaches us that even enemies of Christ can be saved, and even become his greatest apostles after finding faith. From what I can recall, the account of his conversion could be found in the epistles to the Galatians, the Philippians, the Corinthians, and the Acts of the Apostles. The door appears to be locked on the other side. I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor. We'll see if it works. It's open. St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni. Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust. St. John is known as the youngest of Christ's apostles. Well, we often give credit to St. John for having written about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible. It's St. John, painted by Guido Reni. It's St. John, painted by Guido Reni.
I did not mean to hit that again.
The New Testament. A volume of the Gutenberg Bible. This volume dates from the first edition by Gutenberg. It's the first book that was ever printed. The pages are covered in annotations in Latin, French, and Hebrew. Someone spent years studying this Bible. Do all things without murmurings and disputes.
If you think I'm going to read out every single thing out there, I'm not. I'll take about a half an hour. Right. Observe the
Drawing of
pin.
Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here.
Trust in my
down
faith
to an
in
angel.
the man with the sword. The box.
Chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Oh. Talent unlocked. Where's talent? Talents. Oh, I meant. Look for more clues. Right.
St. Paul, painted by Guido Reni.
Inspect.
St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. It's hardly in the dust. As if the painting's been cleaned recently.
Think about what Lois says about the paintings by Guido Reni.
Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it
This
must
is
be
so confusing,
associated
man.
with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Leave. So, what painting?
It's St. John, painted by Guido Reni. St. John is known as the youngest of Christ's
Don't
apostles.
worry, this took me about 40 minutes to do.
Written about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible. Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Oh, it took you 40 minutes. It's going to take me about 2 hours.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
Guido Reni again. Still look for clues. What the, what? Let me look at it. Amber. Okay.
A fragment of amber.
there any more clues in here?
Study the painting of Saint Mark, there's a clue.
What painting was that? Was it this one?
Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
Episode 5 is just done. Where's your clue?
Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
What if it looks like it looks old? He's written down some.
Look at what Louis is saying.
Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni. Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni.
So the MT.
Touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
So he's on about that, I think. Does this guy not have a sword as well? Or some?
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni.
Observe is then go to the Bible.
Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle. So we have...
Oh, I don't mean to do it.
Twice underlined. And a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Where's the Bible? What? Oh, right, so something to do with here. Oh, it's one of these. Right.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Like, give me a second.
Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
Better go back on them. Back.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust. St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code.
Notice how the apostles have been mentioned about 1000 times.
It must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Yes, I know. I know about.
Then they suborned men, which said, "We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God."
Oh, man.
Then they suborned men, which said, "We have heard him
That's
speak
nothing.
blasphemous words against Moses and against God."
Um,
And behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet.
oh, I haven't gone to him. Where's this one?
St. Paul painted by Guido Rini. St. Paul
The Acts of the Apostles, that's all I'm giving you.
Strange. There's hardly any dust. As if the painting's been cleaned recently.
Right,
There's a small
right up this
inscription
guy.
engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice.
Pilgrim
What's that?
Ram. Yep.
And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew and chief of the priests which did so.
I don't know if I'm on the right thing, but
And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to Eve. You must leave urgently, but first...
yeah, I could tell how you took 40 minutes in this.
Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, "I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare"? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that? I'm guessing it's a metaphor. I need to figure out what this means. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Oh, I would have been there for a long time. Oh.
It's time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
You are expected in the small salon, sir.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis?
I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
It must have been Emma I saw in my vision. I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay. They kept up a secret correspondence, which makes me think they were suspicious of someone.
And did you find out who it was?
No, but von Vollner is mentioned. They were planning to make a quick getaway and were looking to hide something beforehand.
Have you got these messages?
Yes. Go ahead, take a look.
I see. I must say, thanks for your honesty, Louis.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
Oh, shit, don't trust her. Or not. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Fuck it.
Emily, there's something else.
Go on, then.
It's about your sister. I don't know what happened exactly, but it's possible that my mother had a go at her.
I know, Louis. I found out that same evening. Well, thanks for not trying to hide it.
Oh. What? Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I know I can. It seems that your mother tricked Emma. She apparently asked her to hide an important book, so that even she wouldn't know where it was. And then she shot her like a dog to make sure no one would ever find it again.
Why would she do that?
I don't know, Louis. But I'll find out. You can count on that.
I'm sincerely sorry, Emily.
Thank you, Louis. But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
There must be an explanation, Emily.
That's what we shall see. Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
Yeah, what's he shouting about?
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia.
He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richet. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined. What?
Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh, dear.
Oh, as if it...
Gracious.
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous. Bastard. He was sentenced to death by 361 votes. to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote. Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this, anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
that's enough, sir.
With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richet.
Are you related to Sarah de Richet?
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you, as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another.
Oh, see if it kicks off again.
Please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you, too. Of course.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Oh, shit.
Hear you speak, it sounds like you and my mother were close.
Let's say I hold your mother in high esteem, yes. We were even planning to work together.
That's what he was getting at.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
Absolutely, but I was hoping that you could tell me more about it.
Well, she was planning to sell me a very old book. I will make no secret of the fact that I am passionate about the subject. And when Sarah spoke to me about it, her account literally had me enthralled. I can think of nothing else since. You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
As my mother's got so many old books, I'm afraid I won't be able to...
Oh, it's easy. You can't mistake this one. It's an ancient grimoire, composed of 7 parts. Each one is closed under lock and key. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. If you find it, you mustn't tamper with it. You see?
That's unusual. Unfortunately, that doesn't ring a bell. I'll look again, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, it seems to slip away at the last minute. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession.
Just
I thought it was with a certain
but he actually wants it for someone else.
Do you know him?
Indeed. One of your close friends?
No, not really, but we were close once. precisely over the case that concerns us now, because he claimed to have the book I'm looking for.
Another dishonest person. What can you say? Can't trust anyone these days, huh?
No. No, you can't.
I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. von Wollner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Wollner. You're the one who von Burchert was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess.
Oh shit, Mortimer home.
Lord Mortimer.
Oh, you are way off the mark. There's nothing more for us to say. Goodbye.
Shit. Anything in here? What's up?
Chronicles of the Amber Princess. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
I have no clue where I'm going.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night.
Didn't mean to click on you. Go away. Right, see if it takes me like half an hour. Oh, well.
What do you want, Louis?
I have a question that might seem a bit strange, but...
Go on.
If I said, go beyond the nightmare, would that mean anything to you?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
In the figurative sense, probably. I'm trying to understand what it refers to.
Well, if I come up with anything, I'll let you know.
What do you think of our last guest?
Well, I never thought I would get the chance to meet that Hispanic Casanova in the flesh. His reputation is well known. The gentleman collects lovers, including, would you believe it, the Queen of Spain.
I doubt that Lord Mortimer invited him for his charm, if you want my opinion. Emily, what can you tell me about the coming conference?
Sir Gregory and Lord Mortimer organize this kind of high society meeting every so often in order to consider the world situation.
But to what purpose?
Well, by bringing together the most influential people from the dominant nations of the modern world, they allow the mighty to discuss matters with calm clarity. There are precedents of armistices being signed at the end of
Oh my
these
god, you
talks,
talk
know.
for about half an hour.
Talking while holding a glass of brandy makes things easier. You'll see. You're leaving me?
Unfortunately, I have things to do.
Nah, mental stawy. Merriment. Go away.
Huh, that's me.
I think I have to go down. I have to go downstairs. I think.
Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near, his brain is oozing by either ear. This is actually like so many things I would go over to. Can I go here? Oh no, I guess I can't. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't know where I'm going, so it's gonna take me a long time.
Find Piagi.
Mr. President, can you tell me a little more about the coming conference?
Of course, Louis. That's why we're here. Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory regularly organize meetings like this to put forward major projects.
What do you mean by major projects?
I'd prefer to let Lord Mortimer explain that to you, Louis. Let's say he brings together influential people in order to consider possible actions to undertake to guarantee the future of nations.
Do you know the theme of the conference?
Not in the slightest. None of the guests know the theme before arriving. But you'll see, everything will turn out fine. Don't worry.
Well, thank you for your time.
Don't mention it, my young friend.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good Lord. How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the order would have intervened.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
Thank you for everything, Your Eminence. I shan't take up any more of your time.
You are welcome, my son. I will be seeing you, Louis.
Ask Your Eminence about the nightmare.
Right, okay. Oh, this game confuses me so much sometimes. Where my toes are going? Right. Where are you old cunt?
Now you wanted to speak to me.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
I was wondering what to think of that Manuel Godoy. Think of a place and tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when I say the nightmare.
Let me think. I'd say Lord Mortimer's favorite painting on the wall behind his desk. You know, that painting caused quite a stir when it was exhibited. It is titled The Nightmare, and it shows a woman lying down with a creature sitting on her, and in the background, a horse. I don't know if it will be of any help, but I can't think of anything else.
You never know. Thank you for that, though, Your Eminence. I gotta go and see it just in case, though. Thank you for everything, Your Eminence. I shan't take up any more of your time.
You are welcome, my son. I will be seeing you, Louis.
Now I have to look for. Oh, I have no clue where it is. I'm gonna be walking about this house. No, I'm gonna get lost. Actually, can I ask him?
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
As I was unable to bring my
Near
personal
Von
effects with
Vollner's
me,
room.
I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course,
Right,
sir.
okay.
What would you require?
I guess the right. Where was it?
I shouldn't have put anyone about. Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
I forget where your room is. Give me a minute.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Here's my room.
Monsignor, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Goes every time.
If you're in trouble, press pause and look at the map.
Alright.
President George Washington.
What the hell was... It's been all weird. Right.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner. So,
Fine. Oh, yo.
Going beyond the nightmare.
What?
No, what have we got here?
This next bit is tricky as fuck, just a warning.
Model of a lock.
Okay, cheers.
If Mortimer is fond of complicating, let's take a closer look. Judging by the shape, I'd say they're Criollo cocoa beans. The chocolate of the Mayas, the rarest of the beans. Some even say they're an aphrodisiac. When a product is in fashion, people attribute all sorts of virtues to it, not to be given to animals. The Nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. I just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere. That's what you generally feed birds.
Well, bird.
Mina bird.
Speak this time or not?
Sarah de Riche? Waldo, you know Sarah? Well, Waldo, is your master good?
Okay, tomorrow. Go away.
Aha, I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
This must be what you're on about. Right. What's this?
What have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. As if Mortimer's fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it. Great. Honey.
I can't let us go what's going on.
complex mechanism. Looks like the third ring is a bit seized up. Gets stuck on number 9. Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter.
Oh, it's just going through my head. Is it something to do in this room? Or do I have to go off somewhere else?
Might come in handy. A myna bird.
The paintings are a big help in the office.
Tell me the door code. Here I am talking to a bird. Shame on me. Sarah de Riche? Waldo, you know Sarah? What? Repeat that, Waldo. Sarah? What about Sarah? Good God, what's been happening here? Well, Waldo, is your master good? I don't really know what I was expecting. A painting depicting the Third Crusade. It's titled Winter Before the Fall of Saint-Jean d'Acre. From what I know, the fall of Saint-Jean d'Acre took place in the summer of 1191. Now, according to this title, it's wintertime on the painting, so it can't have been late in the year of 1191. It must be in the first months of that year, probably in January or February of that year. Two dates on this painting. 1154 AD and 5001. The two dates most likely relate to two calendars. The Gregorian calendar and the Freemason calendar. History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Salle. Hey, the dates indicate AL and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. Oh, that counting system again. The author is Pierre Amédée de la Salle, none other than the Grand Master of the Masonic Lodge of Paris. Now I understand why the dates are offset. He's using dates based on the Anno Lucis, year 0 of the Masonic calendar, by adding 4,000 years to the Gregorian calendar. But I thought that the calendar starts in March. The Crusades took place not long after the year 1000. Here all the dates say 5,000 and something. I'm guessing this dating system begins 4,000 years before the calendar that we use. Yet, I'm getting the feeling that there's something else, another small detail, but what is it? The famous call of Pope Urban II. 20 years after the capture of Jerusalem from the Arabs by the Turks, Urban II convened the council. He promises a plenary indulgence to Christians who go and get Jerusalem back from the Turks. The result, the Jewish community on the road to Jerusalem found itself persecuted for no reason. 12,000 Jews will perish, not to mention the massacre of Ma'ara, where acts of cannibalism by Frankish crusaders were reported, or even the capture of Jerusalem, where approximately 30,000 were left dead. it signaled the beginning of centuries of wars of religion. The famous call of Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi Bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years.
I'm so confused. Right, wait.
A painting depicting the Third Crusade. It's titled Winter Before the Fall of Saint-Jean d'Acre. From what I know, the fall of Saint-Jean d'Acre took place in the summer of 1191. Now, according to this title, it's
you know what?
Painting, so it could have been late in the year of 1191.
I'm going to do 1191 because
probably in January or
I'm going to have to
February
look through everything else. So, you know what? I'm just going to do it. 'Cause I might as well. Wait, what?
Open sesame.
I thought that would have been harder. Yo, that was easy. Yo, what? Where's your sword?
You're so lucky that took me an hour to do.
I've seen 4 numbers, so I decided to do it.
Hiding, Lord Mortimer.
I don't have the skill sets that you do.
Oh, shit.
This is my mother's writing. They've picked up her trail. What is she up to? Obviously she wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where? The only clue she's left for Mortimer is a stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time. I've absolutely got to find out where it came from.
Go find your mother. Yeah, 'cause I know how to do it. Nope. Oh.
It shows the forces present in Europe. It's clear that France is surrounded by her enemies. However, a large number has been underlined in bold. 26 million. I know what it is. It's an estimation of my country's population. All our neighbors have far fewer inhabitants. Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me. It is a typical draw on a line that answers a specific question. To the left, temperance, that denotes reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the emperor evokes a future full of power and stability.
Damn. Right. There's so much shit compared to reading.
A skeleton by the name of Gustav. These are feathers. Pigeon, probably. These are feathers.
Oh.
Looks like obsidian or onyx. Must weigh a ton. Something strange about this table. What kind of experiments does Mortimer carry out here? It's a dissection table. So Mortimer does autopsies here on his desert island. But who's he doing autopsies on then? The little surgeon's perfect collection. Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know 3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long. 3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters. Am I seeing things, or is that an actual Von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science. Even at the Order, it took us ages to get one of those.
Oh,
it's just
a box
representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
I want to ask some coins. What the?
A table of alchemical elements. So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything. It's locked. Map of the Orient, indeed. It shows the forces present in Africa. This is unexpected activity in this sector. Looks like there are also many unknowns, even for Mortimer.
Oh.
Honey, the remedy of the gods. Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Trimore. He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in. This shows the forces present in America. Oh shit. How am I gonna get out of here now? This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
No shit.
The mechanism passes through the wall. The wheels are the same on both sides. Chances are the combination I used on the other side works on this side too.
Am I supposed to leave?
These cylinders rotate on the same central axis. So when I enter a number on one side, it corresponds to another one on the other side.
Am I supposed to leave? I think I've looked at everything.
3 rusty old nails.
Yeah, find a way out.
20 centimeters long.
Okay. Oh.
Have you got the sword?
Yes, I have.
This looks like the same mechanism as
right, I'm gonna click this. Alright. Move away. A ver, what was it? Ah,
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side. Whoa, whoa. The grid closes a bit more every time I enter a wrong date. I'd better not mess up again. I thought about inversion.
Was that not the right thing?
That's not it. What am I missing here?
Is that not the right thing? Wait, 1-1.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side. The mechanism passes through the wall. The wheels are the same on both sides. Chances are the combination I used on the other side works on this side too.
Oh wait, what? Was that supposed to happen? I don't know how it's supposed to happen.
Wheels are stuck. Shit! I'm cornered like a rat.
Oh shit. Ram, was that supposed to happen?
Someone's coming. Please don't let it be Mortimer. Who is it?
Deliberately avoiding me. 4 years ago I was his favorite, but nowadays I have to ask for an audience with his lordship.
Damn it!
Oh shit.
Happened to me. I think you had to do the code backwards.
I'm wasting my time here.
After everything I've done on his behalf, he dares treat me like a lackey?
Yo, what did you do? Keep quiet or call for help?
I've the Parisian elite for the sake of his whims, and what have I got to show for it? Doesn't even have the courtesy to give me 5 minutes of his time. I wanted to put my mind at ease. Well, that's done. I know what I've got to do now.
I must find my mother. So much for discretion.
Monsieur Peru!
Oh, I didn't check anything.
Monsieur de Riche!
Call for help.
I need your help!
Where are you, de Riche?
Yeah.
Behind the painting! Open it, please! I've shut myself in! There's a pedal under Lord Mortimer's desk. Can you see it?
There's no... Hang on. Yes.
Good. Now press it.
Yeah. Done.
You should see something resembling a frame with numbers. Yes? You have to turn them to set the combination. One 191.
Well. Poking our nose into Mortimer's little secrets, are we? You do surprise me.
It's not what you're thinking.
I'll explain everything.
No, you will not, sir. It has nothing to do with me, and by the way, I never even saw you. So, I'll be on my way now.
Thanks again. I'm indebted to you. I won't forget this.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Damn.
I've wasted enough time. I better get moving if I want to find my mother. This note is... A meeting with Lord Mortimer?
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I need to find out where the sword that came with it's from. In order to find it.
You're joking, I hope. Don't tell me you've done that.
Really? How do you expect me to guess?
Oh, for God's sake, just ask them. Well...
Pity, but I've got no time to lose.
I have no clue where I'm going next supposed to go. Find
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
I don't know what I have to do now.
Is everything all right, my young friend?
Mr. President, you might be able to help me. I'd like to know where that sword comes from. Any idea?
It reminds me of the statues in the garden. I can't guarantee it, but you ought to go and see. You never know, do you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're quite welcome. See you soon.
Right, how do I get outside? Takes so long to load.
The sword probably came from his garden, but what could it have been used for?
You again? God damn it, are you following me?
Wouldn't dream of it, sir.
What brings you here?
I tell you what I'm looking for, Monsieur. Will you promise to keep it to yourself?
Hell no. And anybody who gives you a promise like that is an unmitigated liar. Trust no one, Monsieur de Richet, or you'll soon be a dead man. I bid you good luck. You'll need it.
Ariadne. In Greek mythology, she helped Theseus get through the labyrinth. Looks like there's a crack in the region of the heart. If I recall the Iliad, Ariadne is none other than the daughter of Minos and Pasiphae. She was in love with Theseus and helped him in his quest to kill the Minotaur in return for a promise of marriage, if he defeated the monster. She gave him a reel of thread so that he could find his way back through the labyrinth, which was famous for being unsolvable. But once the beast was slain, the gallant was quick to abandon her on an island. Turns out heroes are not what they once were. Let's see. What's going to happen if I've got it wrong? Ariadne. Try something else.
Oh, it's just like a maze.
Icarus. Son of Daedalus and No-Creek. Impossible to mistake him with those wings. After flying too close to the sun, he became unstuck and he fell to his death. Pity. If I remember rightly, Icarus was the son of Daedalus. He found himself confined to the labyrinth with his father after his father betrayed Minos. And his father's plan to escape from the labyrinth wasn't any more successful. Man, that kid was jinxed. Well, let's keep going. Theseus, son of Aegeus. He's the one who slayed the Minotaur. I seem to recall he took the decision to confront the Minotaur. He killed the beast, but if it weren't for Ariadne's help, he would have been trapped in that labyrinth forever. In short, yet another hero who wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay, I'm probably being a bit harsh. I mean, we do owe him the foundations of Athens. In other words, the Republic.
Render therefore unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
Looks like a crack has been made on his torso. Theseus. Let's try something else instead. Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete.
I seem to recall that her fate was not something you'd want. She was punished for the sins of her husband. She had to mate with the sacred bull of Poseidon. 9 months later, she gave birth to Asterion, better known as the Minotaur. It's crazy to see to what extent women have always been mistreated. When they're not harpies, gorgons, and other witches, they become victims. Alright, well, let's continue anyways. I wonder what this kiosk is doing in the middle of the garden. Too cramped to be able to do much. Well, there must be something going on there. It's up to the just to deliver judgment. Truth unlocks all possibilities. What is that? It's like a sort of opening mechanism. Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped. There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked. Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs. Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped.
Oh, I didn't click that one again.
There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked. Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs.
Did I right back him? Yeah.
Minos, son of Zeus and Europa. If I remember correctly, he was the king of Crete. Married to Pasiphae, he had many children, including the famous Ariadne, whom history remembers for her thread. Hey, there's a crack in that statue. The crack is in the region of the heart. Minos. He and his queen, Pasiphae, were the monarchs of Crete.
Is there any more? Yeah.
Daedalus. He's the architect of the labyrinth, and if I'm not mistaken, he's also the father of Icarus. Hey, there's a crack in this statue too.
What, nothing?
Daedalus. Alright, let's try again. You never know.
I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, what?
Here's the famous Ariadne's thread, thanks to which, if I remember rightly, Theseus avoided getting lost in the labyrinth.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow that.
Theseus. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso.
I'm so confused.
It's as long as a finger. I'd say between 6 and 8 centimeters.
Ran, have you read this shit? Wait.
Theseus. Let's try something else instead. Asterion. It is rare to see him like this. In general, he's represented with the head of a bull, with the features of the Minotaur, the famous son of Minos and Pasiphae. This statue has a crack in it. Right. We'll soon see.
Nope. Is that right?
Asterion.
Oh, shit.
Asterion was the son of Pasiphae and Minos, or rather the result of the curse put on Minos. Minos was punished for betraying Poseidon. Of course, as strangely it often happens,
Is this what you did?
He was punished. It was his wife.
Yes, oh.
She had to mate with a bull, no less. From that union, Asterion was born, who everyone knows as the famous Minotaur. Rejected by Minos, he was shut up in the labyrinth so he could never leave. And, as if that wasn't bad enough, he died by the hand of a hero desperate to restore his reputation. Technically, Asterion is the victim of the story because he's described as a child cast out from birth. Born from an extramarital union because of the errors of his father, he was treated as an outcast all his life. And he died as innocently as he was born. A tragic story, as the Greeks knew how to do so well. Let's go. What's wrong? Either I'm imagining things or my hand was pricked. It had poison on it. My head. I feel hot.
Oh shit.
Asterion.
Shit.
Warts and after that?
Yes. Do you know how to...
Episode 2, I mean.
Yeah, do you know how to do this here? I'm stuck on it for ages. Wait, what? What is that?
Ariadne. Here's the famous Ariadne's thread, thanks to which, if I remember rightly, Theseus avoided getting lost in the labyrinth. Theseus. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso. As long as a finger.
The man who has a sword in his heart.
6 and 8 centimeters. I wonder if Mother managed to solve this enigma. Asterion. The statue has a crack in it. The crack is thin and about as long as a finger. I should be able to thrust in my sword. Right. We'll soon see. Asterion. Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete. Alright, let's continue anyways. It's up to the just to deliver judgment. Truth unlocks all possibilities.
Minos.
Is that not this guy?
Asterion.
No, it's not.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Minos.
Huh.
The crack is in the region of the... It's a thin crack as long as a finger. A blade could easily enter.
I swear I did this. wide shot. Oh shit.
Again?
You can't be serious, Manuel. You know that's not going to happen.
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
Agreed? I wasn't aware you had a choice.
What's going on here?
What now? What else must I do to win back my freedom?
Obey me. Now get out!
Oh shit.
What was that? That's the third time in 3 days.
Oh shit.
Let's see if you're in there.
We don't think so.
Amber. Bandages? Someone's been patching themselves up. Looks like my mother took advantage of being in hiding to change her bandages, huh? This is silk. She must have used her own clothes. These bandages are pretty basic. Should be lucky. Damn it, Mother. Now what's happened?
Wait, what? Oh, well, that's the end of episode 2. Oh, that was long. It was 2 hours, I think. Right, well, there'll be another stream tomorrow, episode 3. Oh, I don't know who that is now. Right, I'll do this in another stream tomorrow in episode 3. Right, I'll see you all tomorrow.